Now, shares of Hormel Foods are slightly higher today. The company announcing plans to begin marketing Mexican food in the United States. Joining us for more details on what's next for the maker of Spam is Jeff Ettinger, Chairman, President, and CEO of Hormel Foods. Jeff, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Matt.
Let's talk actually first about this joint venture that you've got to market Mexican food in the United States. It seems like a slam dunk idea because of obviously the growing Hispanic population here and also because Mexican food is so good. But why now? I mean, why in 2009 and not earlier?
Mexican food's a great category. We've participated in the category for almost 15 years now. We launched the Chi-Chi's salsa brand on our own, and then we've been in a joint venture with partners from Grupo Herdez for the last 10 years. But what we announced today was an expansion that's going to allow us to really focus attention against that. We're putting the previous brands together with some new brands, and all total will be about $200 million in sales entity based out in California.
Let me ask you if you think this has something to do with the gain that we've seen here today, because the shares have done quite well. Have investors been counting on something like this, some catalyst like this to come about?
Well, I think our ethnic food strategy has been an important part of our grocery portfolio. Obviously, we're known for some mature franchises like Spam Luncheon Meat and Dinty Moore Stew, but ethnic foods is an area that we think we can experience some excellent growth, and our MegaMex announcement today should be very supportive of that.
Let me just quickly take a moment to point out the headline at the bottom of the screen here. Citigroup, we said earlier that Citi's Asia-Pacific CEO, AJ Bango, is going to leave the company. He is apparently going to be joining MasterCard, and he is going to become MasterCard's chief operating officer. So an interesting career that maybe you've followed if you watch Bloomberg a lot. AJ is in the news, has been in the news quite a bit over the last decade. He is now moving from Citi over to MasterCard. Getting back to Hormel here, I wonder how much your company benefits from the recession, because clearly the kind of food that you make, a lot of it can be stored easily, can be kept for a long time. It's not the kind of thing that is going to fluctuate too much in price. Do you think that consumers turn to Hormel Foods in a recessionary period?
I think it's had a mixed effect on our business. We clearly have seen some benefits in the segments you're talking about, the canned goods within our grocery products group. $2 billion of our $6 billion in sales is in the food service arena, and so there it's been more of a detrimental effect. But all told, we were very happy last quarter to turn positive again in terms of year-over-year comps, and our expectation for the remainder of the year is to remain positive.
You know, I've had a couple of viewers write in, interestingly today, and say they have been avoiding pork products because of swine flu. We've heard of this. Do you see that in your sales? Has it affected you at all?
We saw that the first 2 or 3 weeks after the H1N1 outbreak kind of hit the national news and the international news, but we really have seen a recovery in that. There were a lot of significant feature activity that went on over Memorial Day with pork, and so it's been a bigger effect in other countries in the world, but really in the U.S. we have not seen much of an effect.
You have seen, though, price changes in the commodities that you need to make your foods, and they've been on the upside. How do you hedge against that? How do you deal with that?
Well, it's been a roller coaster. I mean, you've seen fuel costs get very low and then start to come up a little higher. Grain costs, again, versus last summer are at a better level, but what were even lower earlier. We do engage in some hedging activities in terms of natural gas and some of the grains, but you know, it's important to make sure that also that our pricing keeps up with what the cost inputs are.
Yeah, which is where I'm going with this. You know, our viewer writing in also that the price of his bacon has gone up 10 cents. How easy is it for you to pass through these price increases to the consumer, or how difficult?
The key for pricing is how differentiated your products are. If you're in a product category that there are a lot of other players, then there's clearly going to be more pressure on those to maintain a lower price. We're trying to offer a good value, though, on all our items, the innovative new items as well as the traditional items. And I think the fact that we continue to enjoy excellent sales growth is showing that we seem to be at the right balance point for consumers.
All right. Hey, Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. Jeff Ettinger there, CEO of Hormel Foods.